the most valuable tree in the world, whose wood is so valuable that a single kilogram of it sells for up to $100,000. Not the whole tree, a kilogram of wood. And the strangest part is that this wood starts as something completely ordinary. A normal, unremarkable tree growing in the forests of Southeast Asia that nobody would look twice at. Worth almost nothing. Indistinguishable from thousands of other trees around it. Until something goes wrong inside it. And what happens next turns it into the most expensive natural wood product on the entire planet. We are talking about agarwood. The tree is called Aquilaria. It grows across Southeast Asia, Bangladesh, India, Vietnam, Indonesia, parts of China. Medium-sized, nothing visually dramatic about it. If you walk past one, you keep walking. But occasionally, not always, not predictably, not on any schedule, a specific mold infects the tree. And when that happens, the tree panics. It doesn't have an immune system the way animals do. It can't fight the infection with antibodies or white blood cells. So it does the only thing it can do. It starts producing a dark, extremely dense resin, essentially flooding the infected area with this substance in an attempt to contain and isolate the mold spreading through its tissue. That resin soaks into the wood, darkening it, hardening it, transforming it from pale, ordinary timber into something that looks and smells completely different from anything around it. That transformed wood is agarwood, also called oud, and the smell it produces when burned or processed is unlike almost anything else in the natural world. Rich, deep, complex, warm, with a quality that perfumers describe as impossible to fully replicate artificially. It has been used in incense, perfume, and religious ceremonies for over 3,000 years across cultures that had no contact with each other. Ancient Arabic traders sought it. It appears in the Bible, in Sanskrit texts, in Chinese imperial records going back centuries. Every major civilization that encountered it decided immediately that it was extraordinary. So why is it so rare? Here's the problem. Not every Aquilaria tree produces agarwood. In fact, most of them never do. The infection has to happen. The right mold, in the right conditions, triggering the right response from the tree. And even when it does happen, the resin takes years, sometimes decades, to fully develop inside the wood to the point where it's worth harvesting. You cannot rush it. You cannot manufacture it on a reliable schedule. You cannot look at a tree from the outside and know whether it contains agarwood or not without cutting into it. And on top of all of that, the Aquilaria tree itself has become increasingly rare because of what's been happening to it for the last several decades. Because when something is worth $100,000 per kilogram, people go looking for it. Mostly the criminal underworld, and this is where it gets genuinely dark. Agarwood poaching has created an entire illegal industry operating across Southeast Asia. Criminal networks specifically organized around locating, harvesting, and trafficking agarwood out of protected forests and across international borders. These aren't casual opportunists. These are organized operations with scouts, harvesters, smugglers, and buyers. A supply chain built entirely around stealing one of the rarest natural materials on Earth. Poachers will enter protected forest areas, national parks, conservation zones, legally protected land, locate Aquilaria trees, cut them down, and tear through the wood looking for the dark resin-soaked sections. If the tree contains good agarwood, they take it. If it doesn't, they've still killed the tree for nothing. And because you can't tell from the outside whether a tree contains agarwood before cutting it down, a lot of trees get destroyed in the search. Healthy, uninfected Aquilaria trees get felled by poachers who then find nothing useful inside and move on. The result is that wild Aquilaria populations across Southeast Asia have collapsed dramatically. Several species are now listed as threatened or endangered. Forests that historically contained significant numbers of these trees have been stripped down to almost nothing. Countries across the region have passed laws making it illegal to harvest or trade wild agarwood without permits. International trade is regulated under CITES, the same international agreement that protects elephants and rhinos. Penalties in some countries include serious prison time. And the poaching continues anyway, because the money involved is too significant for laws alone to stop it. A single high-quality piece of agarwood, properly processed, can be worth more than most people in the region earn in years. The economic pressure is enormous, and the enforcement is difficult in remote forested areas where monitoring is nearly impossible. So what happens to this wood after it's harvested? The agarwood gets processed into a few different forms depending on the quality and the buyer. The highest grade material gets sold directly to luxury perfume houses in the Middle East, Europe, and Asia. Oud, the oil extracted from agarwood, has become one of the most sought-after and expensive fragrance ingredients in the world. A single bottle of pure oud oil can sell for thousands of dollars. The major luxury fragrance brands use it as a centerpiece ingredient in their most expensive products. Lower-grade material gets processed into incense. Still expensive, still sought after, used in religious ceremonies across the Middle East, East Asia, and South Asia. Burning agarwood incense in some cultures is the equivalent of burning money in the most literal sense. And the very best pieces, the darkest, densest, most resin-saturated wood, get sold as collector's items. Displayed, kept, passed down, treated the way some people treat rare gemstones or fine art. There are pieces of agarwood sitting in private collections right now that are worth more than most houses. All of this from a tree that starts as nothing special. An ordinary tree in a Southeast Asian forest. Unremarkable. Unnoticed. worth essentially nothing, until a mold finds it, until the tree panics and floods its own tissue with resin trying to survive, until that resin transforms ordinary wood into something that ancient civilizations called precious, that modern luxury brands pay fortunes for, and that criminal networks have built entire operations to steal. The most valuable tree in the world doesn't start valuable. Something has to go wrong first.